Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First up, we have the minutes from last week. We're sent out to the board on Monday.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you for the motion, Carrie. Thank you for the second, Heather. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Mr. Matheny,
Yeah, the first couple months has mostly been spent on hearing from, again, Gibraltar, hearing from the school corporation, understanding the different consolidation options and plans that have been laid out. And so now we kind of turn our attention this next month to understanding kind of the county's financial situation. That was kind of the second part of what we were tasked to do. And so kind of our attention now turns, we've got Auditor Larry Hutchings today, who's going to share a little bit about the annual financial report that was updated and posted last week. But ultimately kind of our task is to look at the overall county financial situation. Our consultant Crow is going to help us to model and project out kind of more forward looking. So model out into the future and what the projected impacts of Senate Bill 1, potentially how that may impact those projections. So the annual financial report is a huge kind of a first step. So I just wanted to say thank you again for the hard work, Larry and his team, to get that updated and posted on time. So Larry, if you want to, you're fine to stay there. If you want to join us up here, whatever you want, but we'll have just a few questions. And I think just maybe start out by maybe just explain the AFR, annual financial report. Give us what is it and what is it generally used for somebody that's not.
So the Indiana state law requires the state examiner or state board of accounts to receive annual financial reports from counties, cities, towns, townships, schools, libraries, utilities, and special districts. And they submit those reports via the collection system at Gateway. These reports are submitted by the units and made available by Gateway to the public soon after the deadline, 60 days after the beginning of the year. We also are a GAAP county, which means generally accepted accounting principles. And that's typically for units that are over 100,000 residents, people in the county. We have not done GAAP for 2 years. So we are doing GAAP this year. It's we have not done it yet. It's due by June 1st. That helps put the county in a better position to bond more favorably. So that's something that I chose to do. Last year we got an exemption because when we walked in, it was, it wasn't done, so we wasn't prepared for that. So we did get an exemption from State Board of Accounts. We appreciate that. This year I did not want to ask for another exemption. I wanted to get it done. So that's what we're going to do. And I will just tell you that our team they're lights out. They're always working, always doing something. So I want to kind of give you some numbers, if I could, of the past 3 years. We have numbers for cash balances, and we have also numbers with cash balances with investments. So my Chief Deputy, Morgan Vincent, is going to give you some of those numbers.
The numbers we have with investments for 2023, the beginning was 164,108,325.68. The ending was 108,385,559.19. For 2024, beginning was $145,385,559.19. And the ending was $160,313,802.44. And then for 2025, the beginning was $165,326,782.08. And the ending was $169,575,389. That was with investments.
So as you can see, I think there's been a trend up to a positive, in my opinion. And I will say that we have some very intelligent people in our in the annex here. The treasurer, Josie Thompson, she does a great job of investing. I've went with her on several occasions to be a part of those transactions. And she's always thinking about how to find the best interest rate to put our money to good use for wise investments. And I think that's beneficial. We have some others in the county also that do the same thing. So I think that's helping us. One of the things I will say is, and as Jim knows, there's always the unknown. And we have to think ahead. We have to think, what if something happens? We want to have that padding, of course, to take care of things that may come up. COVID was a big instance of something that might have come up again or something else. So we want to make sure the county's in a good positive state, and to so yeah, that's. I think we're in a good place. Yeah.
Thanks for your work on this. Was there anything that jumped out at you, good or bad? Just and I know you've just got it posted, but was there anything that jumped out at you?
Well, one thing that we're doing now that we've been asked to do by the firm Hartman Williams, who we have hired, is to do a better job on capital assets. Capital assets are roads, bridges, buildings, vehicles, certain dollar amounts. We don't put everything on there. We don't, like pencils and pens, we don't do that, but trucks, bridges, roads. So we didn't really have a good grasp, like even on the parks part, there's a lot of things that weren't being put into that report that we are going back and we're asking of our entities to help us with that. And they're doing a great job. Everything we've asked, they've done. So it's just going to help solidify us for next year to do a better job in reporting, because ultimately we want to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money. And we want to make sure that, it's done honestly, above board. I can't be hired. If it's right, I'll do it. If it's not, I won't.
So when you say do a better job, are you just talking about doing a better job of like reporting or recording those capital assets?
Doing a better job of reporting. I just think it wasn't asked of the previous firm that we had, which I will say that Mr. Bramble brought Hartman Williams in, and I thank him for that. Now I'm telling you, they're tough, but they're good, and I like good. So they're honest, and they'll let me know if we're doing it right, if we're not doing it right, and that's what we hired them for. And they're doing the job, and we want to do it right. I would sincerely put them in the upper echelon of firms in their category for sure.
Larry, Jim, what is typical for a county of our size, cash and investments? I mean, it's 169 million. It sounds like a big number, but do we have any idea how that compares?
Well, I don't think that's for what we're looking at. We're looking at those unrestricted funds. That total is a whole,
Yeah.
grants and
Yeah.
things that and they'll be able to use for
Yeah.
school programs.
And grants are taking a huge hit right now, so, yeah.
But, you know, just taking a look at things from, 40,000 feet up, I kind of compared general fund balances to some of our cohorts, other counties, and we wound up with 32.8 million this year. And we're sort of in the middle of the pack. And in the general fund, that's a big fund that pays
Right,
to run the county.
right.
And for example, Vanderburg had 41.9 million, Tippecanoe was at 18.7, Clark was at 12.2, Delaware 12 million, Hendricks 53.9, Monroe had 23.2 million. So we're kind of in those are like size counties.
Absolutely.
So we're kind of in the middle of the pack as far as general fund is concerned. And our guys, Crow, we've taken a deeper dive than what we had a chance to do in a couple of days.
Sure.
The one thing that I wanted to ask Larry about is, like over the past 5 or 6 years, that general funds had been growing. And last year, just about a $2 million hit. And is that a one-off or is that the beginning of a new trend?
I'm gonna probably say it's more of a beginning of a new trend. Yeah, just, probably, not, I don't know if it has to do something on the investment side, but, I don't know, I'd have to look at that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's, that's something to Kroll answers.
I said, let's be aware the mic is up above the TV and it's easy to look at Larry here, but I want to make sure some of our audio is getting picked up. Larry, appreciate you and your team's work on this. I can't imagine it's something easy to accomplish here. I would say encouraging to see overall cash balances increasing for the year, despite burning down the ARP funds by 10.2 million. So that's great. I noticed on the detailed receipts report, it looks like all the earnings on investments and deposits goes to the general fund. Is that correct? Is that council directed?
No, not.
Because I mean, turning 7.6 million on the general fund of 34 million would be incredible.
Those, they call it, investments of total monies on deposit. If they don't identify a fund, the
Just defaults to the
it goes
general.
to, if say, convention and tourism wants to take $5 million and put it in their name, so the interest will go to that particular fund. If you invest by fund, it goes to the fund, and the treasurer's just and then identify CD, then goes to the general.
That probably makes the deposit accounting a little easier than allocating it all out. I noticed on here in the disbursements in the general fund, there's just other services and charges for $5 million. Do we know what that is? Or can we get detail on what that is? It's just other. Or what typically goes into that?
That's the big miscellaneous account.
The black hole.
Uh,
Yeah. I like to avoid miscellaneous when I can.
So, what happened in 2023 for the ending investment balance to drop so significantly? I know that's restricted and unrestricted, but do you know what happened?
I do not, I was
You
not
talk-
here.
Okay. Hey, Jim. Do you know what happened, like,
You know
what
who
happened?
was here?
So what happened in 23? I mean, and it could easily be like a grant, whatever. Like there was such a major drop in 23 when we saw growth in 24 and 25 in the overall.
I just wonder if it was a change in accounting method, because you said you haven't been gapped for 2 years.
Okay.
That was in 24, 25.
When's the last time we did gap, Jim? Was it 21?
No,
22.
23.
23, okay.
There's some miscellaneous things on here, like Staples TIF, Pfizer TIF, CSN ITF. I assume that's supposed to be TIF. Where do you find information on like all the abatements that are out there? Are those categorized somewhere? Is that something I can come request? Would be good to know. On the schedule of debt, I didn't see anything in.
Tips are different from the rate.
Sure, no, I understand that. But I didn't see anything in here, related to those. On the debt report, there's nothing for the jail. Where does the jail bond sit?
I actually have that information in my office because I just seen it the other day, but I have that figure in my head, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I know there's only about 1 million numbers in here.
We did just, I just got that.
But is the payment like 4.1 million? I think I saw 4.1 million somewhere.
And that should be about.
That's on the leases, yeah.
So is it a lease? So the bond's probably held by a
Yeah.
different entity and then county leases it.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Like County Building Corporation.
The good old building corporation, huh?
It would be interesting to know what the cash balance is as a percentage of the total expenditure, like what your 1 month or 6 month would be. Is that something you could get us?
Absolutely.
Feel free to send that to me and I can disperse it to them.
Don't want to create too much work for you
No, you're all right.
Hey.
You know somebody else will.
here.
Any other questions for Mr. Hutchings?
Just to make sure I mark them right, the funds we should look at are general funds. There's like, because they're not restricted, right? And then the edit county portion, and then the 1138 cumulative capital, and then rainy day, and then riverboat. Is that the ones that I mark them all? Okay, I just want to make sure.
There's any other.
38 too. You said that one.
Yeah, okay, I marked it. I just wanted to make sure I had those marked, because the rest is all restricted.
What's the tax sale surplus?
That's when you sell a property at the tax sale. If they bid over the taxes and expenses that are due on it, that's the amount that someone has bid over that, and it goes in that fund. And, if it's redeemed, go back to the, purchaser. And if it's not redeemed, then, the tax sale purchaser acquires the property eventually, that surplus. It potentially goes to the old owner.
We have a tax sale coming up the 25th of this month. We've got 2 a year.
Do you have a feel for, does that normally get released, or what's the timeline there? I'd assume there's some sort of.
There's a statute of limitations on it. It might be, have to check for sure, but like after 3 years, if nobody claims it, the county gets it. And that,
Does that revert to general fund, or
yeah,
do we typically see much money revert out of that? It normally gets
It
claimed.
just depends. We've really dwindled down the parcels that have, I think when we came in last year, I think it was like 800. We're down to 300 and some odd now. We've been working with the city, Mayor Sackman, the commissioners, to try to put everything we can down on the tax base. Try to, buy properties, so on and so forth. They have the ability to, put those back on the tax sale. And then we have a lot of property owners right now that don't even realize they have properties next door to them that are on the tax sale. So we've been contacting them, and they've been, adding those up. So, or at least going to come to the tax sale. So I think we're going to have a pretty good showing this time.
Good. All for getting stuff on the tax roll.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's the date of the sale? Heather might be interested in buying some property here.
Hey, it's actually really cool. It's fun to watch. Pretty competitive.
Any questions on the AFR? I'm sure we'll have more. It's only been out for a little less than a week, but we'll try and get those organized.
And there will be some adjustment. By law, we can do that up to a certain point. And like I said, with GAP, that's going to change a lot of things also. We'll continue to update that, and that'll be on Gateway. And if I see any major changes, I will let Mark know, and you guys can be aware of that and take a look at that.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Been great partners, great, quick to communicate with us and when we need information, and yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Mark, you threw this on the agenda, I think.
Yeah.
Potential school visits. So if you have any
I
conversation.
did, yeah, and Carrie, feel free to speak to this if you'd like, but, there's a few, Dr. Hensel has encouraged us for the last several months to consider our board going up and visiting various, other corporations, other schools. Plainfield would be one, since we compete directly with them for students. Valpo, he indicated would be a good model for middle school, kind of modeling the West Vigo renovation, I believe,
after their high school at Valpo, they did a complete gutting and renovation, which is what we're hoping to do at West Vigo.
And then I think you had indicated Fort Wayne Carroll might be one. You mentioned like one that was like outside facilities or outside.
The Fort Wayne Carroll or the Lowell. Lowell is closer to that Valpo Crown Point area, which would, from a convenience perspective, would make sense. But they basically redid their outdoor spaces and would give us a model of how it's just different in how other people are approaching that, especially the modernization given girls' sports and some of the stuff that didn't exist at the time that North and South were constructed. And then Hobart was the other one I mentioned, because Hobart has a new school model in a community very similar to Terre Haute. And they actually went through replacing a 100-year-old building that took many years of debate in their community before they decided to do so.
And this is a step that school board members had the opportunity to go on some of these trips. I didn't get to go, so I am interested in any potential school visits, but I do think it helps the board members and admin that went to kind of see the vision of what you could do, whether it's a new build or a renovation. So it could potentially be of interest.
I think the middle school we mentioned there was a Taft Middle School in Crown Point, which is also up in that area, to kind of get a feel for what does a modern layout look like for a middle school, in terms of how they kind of organize around 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade kind of format, which helped us kind of get a visual for what it might look like when we were to renovate North and South, and how do you lay things out to meet the needs of 6th grade students versus 7th grade students versus 8th grade. And I think it was helpful for us to visualize and see how the layout of a middle school is slightly different than the old time junior highs kind of thing.
Were these Gibraltar designs?
The ones in Northwest Indiana were. Plainfield is not, but we know that from anecdotal data that we get from people that they visit Plainfield, they visit here and make some decisions on relocating to Plainfield in part because of their facilities versus ours.
And I was able to recently visit Plainfield as a school board member. Their school board invited some of us, and they're doing a renovation on like a 10-year-old building. So like they're continuing to reinvest in improving and adjusting what their students need. And it was a good example of that. They did have 2 elementary side by side. I didn't understand that, but they've done some creative things in terms of getting their students future ready, so.
So why don't we, I think we can maybe through email, we can kind of maybe throw around some different dates, or you can send us some options there and we can see whoever's available. It'd be a full day. It'd be
If you give us the dates and times, we would work through Gibraltar to work with their superintendents and principals to make sure that we're not disrupting and that we're not, like, for example, we don't want to go there on a day when they're doing learning or something like that, but we would work around those things and make sure that we're not getting in their way. But I am positive that they will be accommodating based on my experience with them.
thank you.
I know I'd have a preference in going to Hobart.
Hobart.
Yes, Hobart. Hobart.
Hobart, if you're from up there. Hobart, if you're not.
Okay.
My wife is from up there, so she's trained me that this is the way you're supposed to say.
Is this Vigo versus Vigo?
I think so. But just if you're saying they were in a similar situation, they renovated a very old building, I think I personally have a preference.
They did a new build.
Oh, they did a new
They
building.
vacated an old building that was 100 years old, and they went through years of internal community debate before they decided on what to do.
But in the,
I think that'd be a good.
and then the design, they brought the historical perspective of the community forward in the new high school. So it was represented in a very clever way. They have been very accommodating for Saturday visits as well. So if we were to choose that a Saturday would be best, they will accommodate that as well. Sometimes you get through the buildings a little bit quicker too, because you don't have the staff and students there. But it's nice, you can check off multiple boxes within just, 20 square miles from each other.
Marcy, do you or Carrie want to coordinate, just trying to find some dates that work? Some, you did a couple options.
Thank you.
Something else on number 4 there?
I think we're good.
Comments from the public? I think we mostly have affiliated parties here, so move on from that. Scheduled March meetings.
Yeah, so I know an email was sent out. For March, we're in kind of this wait mode right now. So we're gonna go down to a once a week meeting. It's gonna be a Thursday, and then we're gonna rotate day and evening meetings just to accommodate folks that can't make it during the day. Sent that out to a lot of you. If you want that, just catch me afterwards and I can make sure you know which ones are.
The next week and the 26th are evening meetings.
At 5:15 p.m.
Where are those at?
Should be in the council
Yeah.
chambers, yeah.
Thursdays.
12th and 26th will be our evening ones today, and the 19th will be our 10:30 in the morning ones, and then we'll just see as needed for April.
Anything else for the cause?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you for the motion to adjourn, Carrie. Second? Jim? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. See you next week. Grab both motions for that.
Good, how are you?
Make sure they know what you're doing. I'm ready for the rain, so I stopped. But I appreciate it. I'll have to look. But I can probably make those. They're actually, there might be one or two. So I will make
Cash balance. You have the cash balance. One that gets cash balance. I think that's important. We got it.
Which would actually be 8 o'clock there. I mean, I know where it is, because I've driven by a lot.
See you around. All right, step right up.
Hello, how are you? Yeah, it's good to see you. Thank you for
Sorry for
coming.
my
Yeah.
on that. Trying to think of the best way of like,
I think that was.
what I put on the agenda.
No, I think that. No, I'm not really saying every way that you go. Enrolling stuff. I mean, people. Should get a few more people. How are you? I just wanted to say. Hi, how are you? Good. Good.
See you.
Okay.
Nice to live.
That thing's still on. I think it is. It doesn't want to move. There we go.